Hello, everyone. Sorry, it's been a while. I missed you guys. Hopefully, you missed me too. If you follow me on my socials or even the community tab, you'd see I've left little hints that I'm pretty tired, exhausted, and um, the traveling through states back and forth kind of took a toll on me mentally and physically. If you have autoimmune diseases and health issues, you'd probably understand it can take a lot on you, even if you know the drive like the back of your hand, which I do. It just my brain is like completely fogged afterwards, and with all the wedding planning, I'm a little stressed to say the least. I mean, man, you knew you weren't rich, but then when you start planning a wedding, you're like, man, I am poor. So yeah, my biggest concern right now is the music. I already made a set list and the details of when to stop the music and what we're doing next and everything. Um, Probably took me till 2 in the morning the other day, and most of it is my anxiety. So it's anxiety driven. So then I'm like, oh my God, what if it's too much? So then I overthink it, I over review it. Look, the truth is, oh my God, maybe I should have had a career in the wedding industry and circuit because everybody makes bank apparently. I think I take great photos. I used to be a photographer for Life Touch. If that sounds familiar for you, we did a lot of schools, school pictures, but I was mostly in the actual Life Touch studio where I did a lot of photographs with the children. I loved doing the holiday children's with the birchwood background and the snow. Well, anyways, everybody expects a wedding to have a photographer and a DJ, and everyone that we pretty much are going to be spending the day with, they're not so big into party hard. We're all pretty exhausted from partying hard in our younger age. So yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, we have this beautiful ballroom, dance floor. What type of music are we going to play? So I actually might be DJing myself because, to be honest, I can't afford to, and I don't really want to spend 5K on a DJ or a band. And everybody that is available for that date seems to be 4K to 9K, and that's insane to me. Absolutely insane. But my friends are worried that I might not have enough time, in between everything and, being present for all the main things and running back to the little DJ booth to make sure everything's running smoothly. But we'll see how it goes. If anybody wants to donate towards that, it is much appreciated, but don't feel pressured to. But if you do, thank you from the bottom of my heart because I'm really, really trying to work with the budget to make this dream come true. And some people might not understand this, but I want it to be beautiful, not just for me and Adam and my friends, but mostly for my mom. She deserves to have a beautiful day to be proud of. So now I'm gonna cry. Okay, let's get back to the main topic. Okay, so I wanted to jump into this since it was pretty big news for Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So Gypsy Rose Blanchard and family sue content creator Fancy Maselli for alleged defamation. So if that name Fancy sounds familiar, and you're familiar with Gypsy Rose and that whole situation, it's probably because you heard about her coming out to speak against, or, allegedly speak against Gypsy. But it seems like she's been pretty open where she has, all of Gypsy's records, health records and birth records and all the stuff that you need for deep dives. And she actually had said that she believes Gypsy has a lot of the problems and some of the surgeries were necessary. because that was something we've been hearing in the media, that maybe her mother, Dee Dee, was doing it and it was like torture. Like it wasn't necessary, but they were scamming people to think that she has all these problems. But this woman actually says that Gypsy did have a lot of problems. And later on, it turned into a doctor shopping for doctors that would be willing to go along with pushing the scam part of things. But I don't know. Will we ever know? I don't know. So let's get into this USA Today article. Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her family are taking legal action against a content creator who allegedly defamed Blanchard after their former partnership fizzled. The Blanchard clan, including Blanchard's father, Brad, stepmother, Christy, who's hugely involved with Gypsy Rose and her career right now, and stepsister Mia, filed a lawsuit against April Johns, also known as Francesca or Fancy Maselli, in the Circuit Court of Livingston County, Missouri on May 23rd. It's weird. I don't think anybody lives in Missouri out of both parties. The family is suing Johns for several alleged offenses, including fraud, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, defamation, and false light. Blanchard and her parents met Johns while Blanchard was serving a 10-year prison sentence following the unaliving of, I almost said it, Blanchard's biological mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, according to the lawsuit. Johns, who runs the production company Mad Ginger Entertainment, allegedly offered her services to produce media projects about Blanchard's life and case. The relationship reportedly soured after the Blanchard family claims Johns failed to secure any media projects or produce any marketable content, per the filing. Well, she made plenty of content after she got out of jail, that's for sure. However, Johns purportedly continued to create and post content about Blanchard against the family's wishes. USA Today has reached out to Johns for comment. Blanchard pled guilty to second-degree unaliving in 2016 after conspiring with her then-boyfriend Nick Godejohn to unalive and her mother, who allegedly suffered from Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Those who have this condition make children sick by creating false symptoms of disease or inducing real ones. The case has been well documented in the media in both a fictionalized retelling and several documentaries. I like how they're showing Diddy in between all this stuff. Gypsy Rose Blanchard accuses Fancy Maselli of violating content agreements. In late 2017, Blanchard and parents Rod and Christy each signed a life rights option agreement. I've never really heard of that. With Johns, according to the family complaint. As part of the agreement, the Blanchard family provide Johns with access and copies of the evidence and documents surrounding Gypsy's life and case. Ooh, that could be dangerous. Which included crime scene photos, court transcripts, family photos and videos, and Blanchard's medical records. For the next 2+ years, plaintiffs Gypsy, Rod, and Chrissy diligently worked with defendant Johns Maselli. They had countless conversations and interviews with her regarding their lives and circumstances of the unaliving. The lawsuit reads, during this time, Johns Maselli's purported to be skilled and experienced enough to perform her side of the contract. In 2019, the Blanchard family severed ties with Johns after she allegedly was unable to produce the media content they had agreed to and became confrontational over Gypsy's relationship with her fiance Ken, per the filing, which they had broken up. Then she was with the other man and they got married, actually. And I guess that's all going to play out in the Lifetime series. But now she's back with Ken. So that gap is an interesting story, I'm sure. Johns went on to post about Blanchard's case in explicit detail online through comments, videos, podcasts, and interviews. The lawsuit states Some of this content, which featured documents provided to Johns by Blanchard's family, was reportedly monetized through subscription-based platforms such as Patreon. As evidenced by defendant Johns Maselli's conduct and the conduct of her agents, associates, Johns Maselli is internationally and freely utilizing the materials she received from plaintiffs pursuant to the agreements signed by plaintiff Gypsy and plaintiff Rod and Christie, respectively, without their consent and for her own pecuniary gain. The lawsuit reads, well, I told you it could be dangerous. Because if things go south, things go sour, things go bad, this is exactly what can happen. Someone can use it against you, or it could be really brought to light to the public before you're prepared due to it being spilled out on socials or, articles. It's just, why would you want to sign rights of your life story away like that? Oh my God. Blanchard and her family also claims John's content became critical in tone toward the family. I'm obsessed with the fact of, I almost said it again. I'm obsessed with the fact Unaliver and her lying con artist stepmother are conning the world one paycheck at a time, Johns allegedly wrote of Blanchard and Christie in an excerpt Facebook post per the filing. I was going to say, when I was looking into John Godejohn, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Her ex-boyfriend, Nick Godejohn, that's when I found out about Mrs. Maselli, because she was in a lot of interviews and she was pretty much saying that there's a lot about Gypsy that people are not seeing, and that she's manipulative, and what her mother had ingrained in her is allegedly present still to this day, if you can catch my drift on that. So it continues to say, Fancy Maselli claims Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her family stalking her. In the lawsuit, the Blanchard family alleges Johns falsely accused them in social media videos of stalking her and encouraging others to stalk and harass her. She has stated that she is in fear that someone will take her out. The lawsuit reads, she presents no evidence to back up the assertions that she is either being stalked or that the plaintiffs are encouraging such behavior. The Blanchard family also claims in the filing that a letter was sent to Johns by attorneys requesting that she stop creating content and saying false, defamatory, and harassing things about Blanchard and her family, as well as remove previously published content. Johns allegedly failed to contact the Blanchard's legal team and has continued to post content about the family on social media. The Blanchard family is requesting a temporary restraining order and a preliminary and permanent injunction against Johns, according to the lawsuit. They are also seeking unspecified damages as compensation for John's alleged offenses. Of course, if granted by the court, would bar Johns from continuing to produce content about Blanchard's case and her allegations against the Blanchard family. Johns would also require to remove such content that has already been released. A hearing in this case is scheduled for Wednesday morning, so that's today, according to Missouri Court's website. And from other sources online, I saw that since she's not from Missouri, where it's all being handled, Fancy tried to fight it and the judge denied it. So she had to figure a way overnight pretty much to get her ass there, because she's claiming she was never served. She was never aware of this until like just last minute. I don't know, man. This is gonna, I think if this really goes to court and there's no settlement, shit is gonna blow up big time. Because Fancy's already been out there saying things that Gypsy doesn't want out there. So can you imagine if now, when she's in court fighting and battling with her, yeah, maybe they'll put like a gag order or something so they don't talk to media, but it's going to get ugly, man. It's going to get really nasty. And the other news on her, oh, wow, whoop-de-doo. She changed her hair back to dark, which I am actually surprised. I am surprised. I do like her with the lighter hair. It actually works on her really good. Some people can't pull off the blonde, you know? So I was really surprised that she went back. Words, huh? Gypsy Rose Blanchard is switching her hair up once again. Blanchard shared a glimpse at her latest hair change with a new selfie on Instagram and a short TikTok video on Monday, June 3rd. In the 32-year-old's Instagram post, she shared a close-up selfie of her new natural look and captioned the post, "Went back to my natural," and put a heart emoji. Meanwhile, on TikTok, she shared a video shaking out her new short haircut and darker locks with the same caption as her selfie. Oh, I was going to play. Okay, guess not. Her latest transformation follows her 3 previous hair changes this year. More recently, Blanchard rocked the blonde look, and before then, she had golden blonde highlights. It's the same shit. Before she ventured into dyeing her hair, her first major change up was when she chopped off 8 inches, which she later donated to a charity. That's always nice to do. I wonder why she decided to change it. She just did so much to it already. Well, I know when I had blonde and I had highlights, I hated what it looked like when the roots grew out. It was a lot to upkeep, and it can get expensive. Because if you want to keep your hair in best shape with doing all that to it, you try to stay away from box dye, over-the-counter shit. But not everyone can afford to go to the salon. Along with changing hairstyles, Blanchard also underwent plastic surgery earlier this year and had the rhinoplasty in April, which I think we already had talked about that. Let's see, somebody had, I guess, asked her about her plastic surgery procedures, and she said, "I'm very happy with everything else that's on my body. I'm happy with my figure. I have a very womanly figure. I have curves. I have boobs. I'm very proud of those." All right, more power to you. She added, "I would not change anything about myself. Anything else about myself other than the nose job that I had, and I'm done." You can't hate on her for wanting a nose job. Look, she's the one that has to live with that nose. You know what I mean? Whether she loves it or hates it. And if it can make her feel more confident and 10 times better, it can make a world of difference. That goes for anybody and everybody. You know, there were 2 girls. I'm trying to think. One was when you were in middle school, and she got a nose job like right before high school, which that's so young. That is so young. But her father was a plastic surgeon, so I guess that was like normal for them, I guess. She didn't really have a bad looking nose. She just wanted a different one. And in that case, I feel like you're too young. You're still growing. You're going into high school. And then the other one, it was like right after high school. And she was beautiful. She was beautiful with her natural nose, but she didn't like it. She wasn't happy with it. I don't think anyone ever made fun of her about it. I don't think that was an issue for her because she was very pretty regardless. So she had boyfriends. But she did it because internally she wasn't happy with it and she didn't feel comfortable, or she just wanted this one bump that she had going on in the middle of it to be gone. And honestly, when I saw pictures, she looks great. and you totally forget what it looked like before, but it wasn't even really that bad. Anyways, with these nose surgeries and shit, look, if you also have a breathing problem, that's a whole nother story. Go get it fixed. Because some people are like, that's just an excuse to get a nose job. No, some people have nasal issues really bad, and I used to really, really bad, knock on wood. I'm too scared to get the surgery to fix that. But if it really causes you issues, especially with freaking breathing, go ahead and get it done. Don't listen to what anybody says. So yeah, they just show pictures of her with her short hair. It's cute. It's cute. But if I could choose for her, I probably would have kept the blonde. I don't know. I think like it suited her better. And then they just go into talking about how she still has that Lifetime series going on. And they're probably going to show the troubles with her ex-husband. And I'm wondering if they're going to show details of how she transitioned that marriage into going back to Ken. So that shall be interesting. What do you guys think? Are you guys still following up on Gypsy Rose? Tell me in the comments down below. Is there certain things you would want me to cover regarding her, like following up with this lawsuit, or her I don't mean to laugh, but I was going to say her career, because originally she was, flaunting and boasting about being an advocate for multiple things, not just the Munchausen syndrome, but also like human rights. And she hasn't really done much with that. But apparently she did meet up with Kim Kardashian as Hulu dropped their trailer. And there was Gypsy opening the door to a Kim Kardashian to talk about prison reform. So we'll see. We'll follow up and